good afternoon, good evening, and good night. How is everyone doing? I thought about starting it like the Truman Show, so everyone that knows what that show is, movie was, then you know what I'm saying. Oh, hang on a second. Here I am talking to you guys. Forgot the most important damn thing. How are you all doing? I gave a nice, I don't know if you heard me, I gave a nice Truman Show, good afternoon, good evening, and good night introduction there. How are we? Mark says no, the Bitcoin, I think that's what you're responding to. The Bitcoin halving bull run is not starting. Andrew, how you doing, mate? Good evening. Thank you for the love, mate. Appreciate that. Mitty, good morning, mate. How are you all doing? Is the sound working? You guys can hear me? I did forget the microphone initially, yeah. How are you doing, fellas? Good. Hi, Cypress. Awesome. I'm doing well, thank you very much. I'm very tired right now. You can probably tell already. Very tired. It's a part of life. HBAR's pumping. Yeah, I actually have I got the top gainers chart open right now, so we'll have a look at that in just a second. Because I have an inkling feeling that we'll see in a second. There's a few things I'm going to talk about, but I have an inkling the bull run's starting. It just reminds me of a lot of the things that were happening back in 2020, you know, and yeah, I don't want to miss it. I still think there's a black swan event due, but in terms of what's gonna unfold in the long run, I think we might be there. Love you, channel. Have you heard of a crypto called Alchemix? I think I have, yes, but I could be confusing that with another cryptocurrency I'm thinking of, Alchemy. So, about Algro, say my name. Kasaname Morrigan. Is that right? Good now? Yeah, you guys should hopefully hear me. Hopefully you're all doing well, guys. When is this sideways action going to stop, Jason? In fact, Wow. The interesting thing is, it can keep moving sideways or downwards. That's fine by me. There's going to be a bull run at some point, and I want to have my best positions in, and that's what I'm banking for. It doesn't bother me if it keeps moving this way. As long as it does move up eventually, which it definitely will. G'day from Brisbane. You can hear us. You can hear me, sweet. Morning, bro, from the UK. Good morning. Altcoin season soon. Total 3 on TradingView. Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. We've got some projects here I like to talk about quite a bit pumping. HBAR Thorchain's making a big run. Mina, Algorand's pumping a little bit here. Render. So we'll look at this in a second, but feels like I missed opportunity on HBAR around the 5 cent mark. Is it still a good buy? Yeah, in my opinion, anything around the 5 cent mark is a good price. When we're talking respectively, I mean, you know, 5 to 6 cents for HBAR is actually quite a lot here. So yeah, that is kind of a big difference. But in at 6.5 cents, to be honest with you, this is what I'm like talking about, right? Because now it's FOMO. Now we've gone from like, oh yeah, HBAR's 5 cents, it might go lower. I'm not going to buy it, might go lower. To now at 6.5 cents, like, oh shit, do I buy now? It's like, no, you don't buy now. In my opinion, you don't buy now. It's top 20%. Don't buy now. And if it goes to 7 cents, 7.5 cents, 8 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents, 11 cents, I still wouldn't buy. I wouldn't buy. Because in my opinion, you have the opportunity, you execute, or you don't. There's other projects out there. HBAR is a fantastic one, but it's all about you making gains. If you missed it on HBAR, the market does not care. Nothing apart from you cares what your portfolio is, as long as you make the money. So don't stress about it, brother. If you missed it, you missed it. It should hopefully fall. Arvo from Aussie. Ross from Alice Springs, welcome. Lots of love from Gold Coast. Awesome. So the question is, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is the bull run starting? This is the question, right? And so I want to hear what you have to say before we start diving into some things here in a second. What do you all think starting? Because I'll tell you right now, while you start, filtering those answers through the chat, I'll tell you right now, from what I've seen so far on the back end on the YouTube side of things, I am getting a feeling, as Rich just said, this is starting. And what did we say? What did we say many months ago now? In the breakdown videos, 8 months out from the halving, August, we're in August, this typically starts ramping up, right? So let me just get you guys going on the screen here, because we don't have too many people sending messages through right now about what they think about this. Right? How many of you guys have seen my channel? Bull run Q4 2024. Ooh, that's a bit late, bro. That's a bit late. If it doesn't pop off to a Q4 2024, that's worrying. Okay, let me just make myself a little bit smaller maybe, hey? See if that works. How many of you guys have seen this chart that I've put up here many times now? And can I tell you something? I'm not a technical trader. I'm not a technical analyst. I don't do any charting, none of that sort of stuff. I'm just working purely a fundamental analysis over here. And from what I could find, it's right in front of our faces. Now, I'm not going to go too much over this. You guys probably seen this 3, 4, 5, 6 times by now. But I mean, the numbers are all lining up. The numbers are lining up. 1.5 years, the last 2 bull runs to the day, from the halving to the top, exactly to the day. Okay, that's a bit of a coincidence. Sure. Is it on this one? Look at the bear markets. The bear markets are the same. Very, very similar. 854 days between the top of the 2018 run to the halving, and then from the top of the 2021 halving, we can only suspect. Well, it will be in April, of course. We know that. How many days exactly? Not too sure right now. But we can damn well bet it's going to fall pretty much in the same thing, 2.3, 2.4 years. Okay. Very interesting, right? And so what we can do is always backtrack and reverse engineer this sort of stuff and go, okay, well then what's the top of the 2025 bull run? Where's that going to land, roughly speaking here? Again, nothing repeats, and it did previously, freakily enough, but it typically rhymes, so we can kind of get a rough idea. So you're joking yourself, absolutely kidding yourself, if you don't take this and apply it. Because you have a good chance of this coming true, or at least somewhat coming true, then you're prepared. Or if you don't follow this and you think something's going to change, it's going to be different this time, you are setting yourself up for more possibilities of failure. It's the risk to reward traders like to use. You don't take the trade unless it's there, unless it fits into your criteria. And in this case, we have all the criteria in front of us. We just have to stamp it, right? And so that's kind of what I'm thinking here, okay? Now, the thing is, we could have a very similar event. What I'm preparing for is like what happened over here with the big C word, right? So it was, the bull run was pretty much starting. I think equivalently, is that even a word? We're about here right now, I believe, in terms of our cycle, right? So if the bull run continues to do this sideways, like a gentleman said earlier, that's fine. If it starts to pick up like it did over here, and we're all anticipating this, and it does this, so what? So what? More of an opportunity for us to buy in, okay? That's all I'm thinking about. And so I suspect that we are going to be trending sideways right up, well, probably even do what this did right here, where it started to go up, up, up. As you can see, the halving's over here. What did we say typically? 8 months out from the halving, typically we start to see more volume pick up, and I believe that this is what this pretty much essentially was here, and I believe that's when we're going to start taking off. Right, way back over here. But yeah. COVID wasn't announced on, 11th of March, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, this was maybe the bull run started. I think I did the maths on the video. I can't remember what I said now, but I think it was maybe around 6-7 months prior to the halving. But, you can start to see volume picking up. And so, I'm telling you right now, we're getting pretty damn close. How do you all feel about that? I've got some more stuff we can talk about, but I wanted to mention that first. Mate, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what happens with a highly probable black swan event. So when you say you want to know my thoughts on what happens, do you mean just like the repercussions of what a black swan would cause? Or are you more so saying, is it highly probable? Because I think it definitely is highly. I mean, you just look at the macro state of the world. Like, it's crazy. It's so turbulent right now. There's so much freaking stuff happening, and what I've noticed is crypto is getting more and more and more bullish. You guys are noticing this? We've had Ripple and the BIS partner officially. So we all thought, hey, Quant partnering with the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, the bank of all banks, the bank that facilitates transfers multiple different ways to all central banks. They're now partnering with Ripple officially. As my mate DHN said over here. What's this? Yesterday, technically speaking, yesterday. Fed now has added another company to its service provider showcase, micropayments company DropCC. Drop enables micropayments in HBAR and USDC. Drop enables micropayments for small value transactions in both HBAR, USD, and USDC. Merchants save money, blah, 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 blah. Right. Interesting. HBAR's pumping at the good news. What's all this sort of saying? The cheat sheet. Where are we in the current cycle? I believe we are definitely towards the end of it. And now if we go to Bitcoin, all right, we click, all on Bitcoin. Well, we can't really see too much here. But, look, we're trending sideways a month. Look at this. Where are we going, guys? Now, look, as I said to you before, it wouldn't surprise me if we have some more turbulent. Like, we could be definitely over here right now, up, down, around. But I believe it's 8 months out. It's 8 months out. We're going to start to see more volume come in, like we have before, right? We have before the halving. Everyone thinks halving is the day, halving is the time. It's before the halving that it starts to pick up. Now, I'm going to break the fourth wall here and be 100% with you, boys and girls. I am receiving, as you probably know from the channel, so many ICO projects saying, can you sponsor, can you sponsor, can you sponsor? Now, let me tell you something right now. I've been getting all these like for the last 2 years, but they weren't good quality projects. And now these ones are hitting me up and they're like actually quality projects. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I'm like thinking, okay, so why now? And let me tell you something. The 1st of August was when it all started. Now, I'm not saying that it all, like 1st of August is some magic date. All I'm saying right now is we called 8 months out the 1st of August, roughly speaking, at least give or take about a couple weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So, but it just so happened I got all these sponsorships. Now, I'll admit I probably said yes to too many there. But I've learned from my mistakes. That's besides the point. The fact of the matter is they all know something's starting. And the interesting thing about all these companies is they have very centralized marketing teams, to whereas one person knows 10 people that also manage 10, 20 projects themselves. So they're all sort of commingling, going, it's starting. Let's all communicate, you know what I'm saying? And let's get this sort of started. And you can notice, you don't have to talk to a YouTuber about that. I don't have to break the fourth wall. All the information's out there. You just got to connect the dots. You go to ICO drops, for example. Go look at all the projects that are launching end of this year. All the good quality projects are launching this end of this year, guys. Now, I'll tell you from honest, this is the truth, right? Projects will not launch in a bear market. Projects will launch just before, like at the precipice of the bull run, because they get the news circulating. Once the news is once everything, like they've planted the seed essentially, then everyone knows about a project. So when the bull run comes, bang, they're onto it, right? Fanman, 20 euros or 20 pounds. God, I can never get it. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that a lot. Good to see you back. Hey, Karen, are you still interested in DOT crowdfunding? I won 7 auctions, and these end in December. I also bought was that 10,000 bag of OCAI. Wow, that's great. Okay, cool. Let's see how it does. I'm in profit already. Good tip. Thanks. No worries. Good, Ian. Good, mate. Proud of you. You're up already on that call. Excellent sort of stuff. And yeah, so in my opinion, Polkadot's they're moving away from the parachains, right? So there won't be auctions anymore. It's more so like you can hire out the power of the blockchain, essentially, like the block space. So I would say make sure when you're out, you stay out. At least from what I know so far, because it's changing. I don't know how that's going to work. What you don't want is especially to, even if they allow you to re-enter those crowd funds in, what you don't want to do is come back in and then have to figure around in 2025 and, they got very long unstaking processes. And then something comes up where they're like, okay, we're changing the whole MO here. You guys have to manually unstake now. You just don't know. Like, you want to remove all form of uncertainty possible in the bull run, and especially want to stay liquid. So in my opinion, not financial advice, what I would do, take it and stay out. Even if it was the same thing going back again, bro, I would most definitely keep it and not put any back in, because you've got your tokens, you got what you wanted, okay? You bonded, and now let's take it and run. Because if you bond again, you're really risking it. That's basically 1.5 or 2 years. 96 weeks, whatever that works out to be, just under 2 years. You don't want to be playing Russian roulette. Daniel, $15. Thank you so much, mate. Wow, you guys, and that was just a donation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Man, that's awesome. Okay, guys. I started off this exhausted. I'm tired, but you're really waking me up here. Thank you. All right, followers. What do you all think? You think I'm tripping, or you think this is we're getting onto something here? And we got another one from Josh. Josh, thank you, brother. With the $5, are you worried about higher interest rates compared to the last 2 bull runs? Seems like the economy is in a way worse state than 5-6 years. 100% it's in a worse state. 110%. Almost every single economy is. Maybe all of them are, right? So yeah, I definitely 100% believe, the interest rates are shocking. And they're going up, and they're going up, and they're going up. I managed to lock in my home loan, thank God. I locked it in as soon as I could. Because I anticipate them to just continue to go. So yeah, it definitely, there's obviously some correlation here between all these traditional markets. You know what I mean? And the Dixie as well. Like, there's so much stuff that you can kind of play into it. I guess what you got to do is kind of look at the macro market, analyze that, just in a broader sense. You don't have to be a macro guy. You don't have to love that. You don't have to feel like you've got to be someone you're not just because you're in this market. You can kind of just listen to some of the YouTubers, follow the right people on Twitter. It's all about who you know, and they'll give you the information. And then from there, you can go, okay, well, what are these guys saying? These guys are the experts, and you can really tell authenticity through some of these people on YouTube. Take what they say. I can give you guys a list if you want. That's what you got to do. Watch them. And just remember, you're getting that late. So just to be a little bit on your toes, and whatever you kind of touch in crypto, you're always one step ahead, because crypto will most definitely follow the general sense. I don't think crypto is at the point just yet. If the global market crash, you're not going to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinking to themselves, oh, hey, we got crypto. The economy's crashing. Let's put our money in crypto. They're still volatile. They don't want to take their money out of a volatile situation and put it into a more volatile situation. Are you kidding me? We're not there yet. We're not nowhere near there yet. So in my opinion, be very careful. Understand that crypto is too juvenile right now. If we get regulation in, once that really pops up, I think then we're going to have some sort of certainty, some mass market clarity, which then we can start to onboard all these users. But until then, be very mindful. Don't fall for that sort of shit. That's hopium. That's pure like crypto is the next best thing. Guys, I'm telling you, so many projects are going to die when regulation comes in, because they're not going to be bothered. These teams aren't going to care about wanting to change their whole vision, MO, and then have to spend money, time, resources, go through so much paperwork just to make sure that they're not a security. Sometimes it's better to just say, hey, we're going away. You don't know our faces. These are our fake names. Or we don't care. No one's going to find us. Sorry, guys, this is too hard for us. Look at AlgoFi. Sorry, guys, this is too harsh. We're going to close up in a couple of weeks. So all the best. Thanks for all the love. Peace. DB says, what do you think of the DeFi sector? DeFi sector, I think, is going to do well, but only select projects. We have to be, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong, the instinct I get is DeFi isn't going to be as powerful. I still think we might have a DeFi. We're going to have a DeFi narrative, of course, but I don't think it's going to be as crazy. I could be wrong here, though. It's just I've got no research to back up that statement. I just have intuition, basically. The state right now of the UX/UI of a lot of these DeFi projects, I hate. I hate using them. I use them, of course, but I hate using them. Now we have one of my team members and good friends, Richie Me, in the chat. He's going to be starting a DeFi channel, like a no BS DeFi degen, if you will, channel, going into this sort of stuff. He loves it and he's really good at it too. But for me, I just really hate it because people say, oh, it's so intuitive and we have an amazing DEX. It's so easy to use. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not easy to use. Like, for us it is, but I'm always like sort of thinking from a mass market mindset. You know, it needs to be a lot more simple. Like, you imagine your grandmother using these platforms, and I always say it, yeah, you can tell your grandmother and your dog and your cat about how easy it is. It's easy to use. I'm like, no, it's not, guys. Calm down. We are a long way off mass adoption. So, rather not say, 99 cents. Thanks, mate. $1. Appreciate that a lot. Donation. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe let's have a look here. So you guys are pretty familiar with the rainbow chart, maybe, right? So right now we're at a good buy time, and we knew this. I mean, come on now, we pretty much knew this, right? This was pretty much start of the year, so that was a big dip over there. Can I? So, you know, the halving's popping up here. What typically happens at this period? Well, look, we always go sideways, right? We always go sideways. Halving comes, it typically starts. We had COVID here, cut this short. I believe it cut it short. A lot of people do believe that as well. So yeah, I believe that. Notice we had a bit of a hump here. I don't think we're going to necessarily have that, but it wouldn't surprise me if we do. I just feel like we are probably going to trade a little bit on the sideways action here, and then we're probably going to start pumping. You know, I believe the market's going bullish right now, suffice to say. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. You got to wonder how valid these charts are. Like, you guys obviously know. Let's see if they have it here. Well, the altcoin season index. But I'm talking about Plan B's chart. A lot of people think that's still valid. I don't really know. Bitcoin season, yeah. I mean, you got to kind of put into question whether these charts really are as good as what people think they are still. Because all this sort of stuff is, guys, just tracks very basic stuff, right? Like it's all human psychology stuff. So like if Bitcoin's up, right, well then alt season's coming soon, no? Like the inverse sort of thing plays out. Yeah, so you know, if you're someone that looks at this, I think Fear and Greed Index is probably pretty good to use. I believe that for sure. Damn, Casper. But in terms of anything else, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore. And all of it is irrelevant versus like what's happening in the macro. So let's answer some questions, guys. Josh, 199. You and John are the best crypto YouTubers, mate. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it a lot. Hey, John might even be in the chat here, so maybe he'll hear you say that too. I know John pops in every now and again. What's your hot take on Yearn finance? Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. And people, that's funny. And people will see the price of Yearn finance and go, oh my god, that's too expensive. I've never looked, so I know what Yearn finance obviously is, but I've never looked into it before, right? Yeah, okay, it's cool. It's just like a farming protocol. Is that correct? Yeah. I mean, it's a good project, I guess. And there's not much to it, right? It's good for DeFi. Like, don't get me wrong, because the thing you got to understand about crypto is like we have what I like to talk about, these enterprise blockchains, these enterprise networks where they have this like their foot in the water, in the pool, and then they have their other foot like on land. On land being like what's stable and typical and standard, which is obviously like the Web 2 world where they're serving these large corporations and like these enterprises. Whereas they've got their other foot in the water, or at least their toe in the water, which is Web 3. They have this base and this framework. And that's kind of like what we're doing here. Like we have the metaphorical toe in the water. And so, you know, Yearn Finance is like servicing this toe in the water, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not. But essentially like Web 3 is like so... like what we can offer right now, it's so tiny, so minuscule. Because like you think about something like this, like how many protocols, how many AMMs are there that offer yield farming, like pretty crappy borrowing, pretty crappy lending, like it's not really functional. And like there is so much stuff that can go wrong with it. And I don't want to sit here and say like, oh my god, like I am the harbinger of death for crypto or whatever. I'm like, I hate crypto. I don't hate crypto. I'm just being honest. Like there's very little about what we can do right now in crypto, and so like that's why I want to focus on what actually has application first, and what happens in crypto will come next. You know what I mean? Like once that framework comes in, because what that framework's going to do, I don't think people really realize so much, but when that framework pops into action, like it's going to allow people to go, right, we can now put our pedal to the metal and start really thinking towards this way, and that's going to close off other wings. But that's fine because we'll always figure out other stuff. You know what I mean? Hey, Corin, have you decided the 3 winners? So there wasn't 3 winners. There was only... So in regards to the giveaway, there's only 1 winner. But I pulled out 7 people just in case people didn't obviously get back to me. And I believe... Was it you? Someone next... I think I had... So we've waited 4 or 5 days right now. 1 more day and we move to a gentleman that has messaged me on Twitter. So I will be... Looks like... be giving him that $100. If that is you, that'll be probably tomorrow. 12 more hours. Daniel with the $2.99. Thank you, brother. Best crypto vids on YouTube. Cheers for the hard work. No worries, brother. Absolutely. I got you, man. I got you. Thanks for the $2.99, mate. Appreciate it a lot. Meld, yes, Rich. So Rich mentions Meld. That was a pick from you. So Richie Me, the gentleman who will be taking over the No BS Crypto DGen channel. And when we say DGen, we mean lightly. We're not talking about like meme coin crap here. Rich will teach you how to actually use crypto for what crypto really is, which is what I don't have time for, that's for damn sure, and he knows so much about it, and he put me on a Meld. I'm really glad he did. Meld, Web3 banking stack. Guys, just pay attention. What Rich says typically goes, not financial advice, I'm going to say that on his behalf. But he put me onto this. It's a fantastic looking project. I was pretty blown away when I came across it, and I mentioned it in my top gainers video, right? What really blew my mind was, where's the fiat integration? You can pretty much lend and borrow in fiat. It's crazy. Where is it? No, it's not going to show anymore. And just for everyone that's joining me now, I am quite tired, so I'm not on my normal ball. Anyway, it is in here somewhere. But you can lend and borrow in fiat. It's kind of nuts. This is like what I would. This is what DeFi really is, like the next evolution. So yeah, not financial advice, but take a look into it. Pretty low market cap right now too. And they recently had an airdrop as well, guys. Quant, $1,400, I'm out. Are you down, Homer? Are you down $1,400 on Quant? That is not good to hear, brother. But you're not really down until you actually sell, okay? You're not really down until you sell. Oh, damn. That's really been moving sideways, hey? Damn. I think someone's keeping quant low, hey? This was obviously the good news that came out, I believe. Or some sort of good news came out here, definitely. Might have been the Overledger launch. But, see, this is the thing, like, this is the thing I was telling you guys before about HBAR, right? So if you're like, no, I'm going to wait for it to go 90, 90, 90, 90, and then it goes up, and you're like, oh, shit. And then it retraces here overnight, or whatever it might be, overnight. And you go, okay, it's down, it's 108. Oh my God, okay, I better buy some now before it goes up even more. And then it's like pumping. You're like, yes, this is it. It's going to go to 150, you're going to go to $200, it's going to go $300, $400. And then bang, goes down. And then you're back to square one again. That's so common. This is what I'm saying. If you're holding off because you think it's going to go lower and it starts pumping, you stay out of it. Stay out of it. I first learnt this from Suppo-Man. You guys know who I'm talking about here. One of the... Suppo-Man. This fella. By the way, obviously, I've never spoken to him before. Michael's a great guy. Used to watch his videos all the time. Obviously, I have it now, as you can see. But he is one of the OGs in crypto. He is someone who I would tell you guys to just listen to. Like, some of his picks are quite micro-cappy, not my thing. But most definitely, I think he's got a good take on a lot of things as well, at least on his lives. He's got some really good live streams. He goes into like the macro stuff, right? I was on BitBoy over here, apparently. And yeah, so anyway, I think you guys should take some of his stuff into consideration. But why was I showing you Suppo-Man for? I was going to show you something, but I've completely forgotten. I think it was in response to a comment. Anyway. That's right. So what he taught me was... When I first got into crypto, he said, remember he used to preach all the time, if it doesn't hit his price level, he doesn't go in on it. Simple as that, right? And I used to think to myself, hang on a second, that's so stupid, because if it's going up, wouldn't you want to just try to take advantage when you can? But it's not, because you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. You can't tell me in the moment when this thing's going, when quant is pumping right here, that you're going to have the absolute balls, the clarity to be able to take advantage of this. You're not. You're just not, right? And it's going to come down and you're going to be screwed. So that's one thing he always used to say was if it doesn't hit his price levels, he doesn't even buy in, even if it is trending sideways like this. If it's not going to $98, he's not buying, sort of thing. Not to that extreme level, but it's more or less. And so I was always like, no, this guy's tripping. But he had the experience up on me. And now, like, being in the position I am and having a bit more experience and thinking things through, of course, he was 100% spot on. And this is the problem I always talk about to people. It's like, you don't listen to people. You don't listen to people who've been in the space. More or less your elders, if you will, in some kind of weird way. But then in that case, you'll learn the hard way. So that's one thing I learned from Michael. Bachelor says, you're telling me I must have missed an upload? BRB, gonna go iron my hands. That's funny. Rather not say, $2.99. Let's go. Hey, mate, what's your hot take on Arweave? First of all, thank you again for the $2.99. What's my take on Arweave? I think it's a great project, of course. Of course, you guys might know me already. I'm heavy into this sort of area. Gosh. I really like the whole decentralized computation, storage narrative. But I haven't actually dove very deep into Arweave before, so I don't know how it really stacks up to Flux, for example, or Filecoin. Again, it's kind of a mixture of the two. And it's, pardon me, and it's proof of work as well. Is it not? Doesn't say it there. Oh, damn, you can make your own homepage and everything. Yeah, some good stuff. Yeah, I mean, if it really is trusted by like the Meta and the Meta sub companies, that's some pretty big stuff right here. So you know, like we think, look at all these like Web3 companies like Arweave, and then we see Web2 companies like Meta or Facebook, or whatever, like adopting the tech, and it's just because like this is like what we're hedging into now is the future of the world. It's the next evolution is decentralized based systems. Decentralized can go like, what defines decentralized? Like, I believe a system is decentralized so long as like more than like maybe 3 or 4 nodes are geographically like spread out, and that's pretty much decentralized. That's like the beginning of decentralization. There's like, it's multifaceted, of course. There's more than one thing that goes into it being decentralized. Decentralizing security, because Bitcoin is not decentralized in security. Decentralizing by geographical locations, i.e. the nodes in the system itself, and the storage and the computation. Is that decentralized? And Bitcoin's technically is, right? And then is it scalable? Because Bitcoin is not. Because in Bitcoin in 30 years' time, the nodes on the system are therefore going to get more centralized because it's going to have more to store. So right now it's like 300 or 400 gigabytes in size. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's taken like, what, like 10 years to get Bitcoin from 0 to like 300 gigabytes. But then it went from like 300 to like 400 or whatever it is now in a very, very short period of time. So they're building the Lightning Network. They're doing all this other stuff to it. It's not Bitcoin anymore, guys. I'm sorry, Bitcoin is not Bitcoin as Satoshi intended it to be. It's not. And so like, but that's what I'm talking about with decentralization. Like, decentralization is multifaceted. It's not one word that means everything. Well, technically it can. It encompasses more than just what you probably perceive it initially does. So we look at something like Arweave, and it's like, that's why it's being adopted by these big and large name companies, is because they know that decentralization in some capacity is the way forward. It's just even good for security. Like, you think about if one system went down, and also the same thing they're doing right now with like these web servers. Like, this is why they probably have them all over the world. One, it's better for bandwidth, of course, but like Amazon Web Servers have all these like physical servers in different places, which means that you can, you know, if one system goes down, hypothetically speaking, you can just change. You know what I'm saying? Not as easy as that, but you know what I mean. Josh, thank you for the 199. Conservative price predictions for Near Protocol. Oh, this is something I've done videos on already, but I think it's warranted again, because I think I got a lot of people hyped up. I got a lot of people hyped up on Near Protocol, and I kind of like hyped everyone up and then like went away from it, right? So I need to like touch more on Near, I think. But conservative price prediction, what was I think from memory it was like 20 something bucks. I mean, I could go ahead and find it right now actually, because you guys can't see my screen. I can fiddle around a little bit, but for those of you who are joining me right now and haven't seen the start of the live stream, we did touch on the title of this live stream, which was, is the bull run starting? So you guys can maybe just go back after the live stream's over, if you're watching me, joining me now rather, and kind of get my initial thoughts. Long story short, TLDR, I believe it's starting. Well, I believe we're at the precipice at least of it starting. Now, we're going to probably go sideways a bit more, or at least we might even have a black swan event. But what I mean by starting is I believe people are becoming more aware of it. I believe people are starting to tune back in again. Think about all the people that left it in the bear market. They might have lost money. They might have just been sick of listening to people talk about crypto. And I get it, right? If you're not involved in the space, like it's the bear market, like like I don't care about the tech. I don't care about the vision. I just want to make money. And so you're sitting there working, and then all of a sudden, the news, you know, the CEO of BlackRock starts talking about Bitcoin. This starts happening. Bitcoin ETF, ETH ETF, spot, all this stuff starts popping up, and you're like, holy shit, it's starting? What's happening? You do a quick Google search. When's the next Bitcoin halving? April. Okay. Maybe I should get in now. We're a little bit early. Everyone's talking about it. It makes total sense. Psychology. What was I finding for everyone again? I was finding Near Protocol's price prediction, which I know I did on a recent video. Here we go. Oh, never mind. That's not a price prediction. I think from memory, it was like, I've got $15 and $20 in my mind. Because you see, like, what we have to do essentially is, of course, okay, this is probably going to be a good lesson for some people that don't know this already, especially if you're a beginner or you're someone who doesn't like know much about price predictions. Listen up, please listen up. This is what you got to pretty much do. Let me make myself a little bit, no, actually, screw it, I can stay small. So what you want to do is essentially do a couple of things here. So go to Google, go, so near protocol token emissions. We just want to see when I mean emissions, I mean when are these tokens going to be released? Now you can use the keywords vesting schedule. Sometimes it doesn't come up. Sometimes other projects like to talk about emissions. It doesn't really matter. It's the same sort of thing. Technically, they're two different things. Emissions means tokens that are released from the protocol working as intended, and sometimes investing typically means tokens that are locked. We all know about these 1 million tokens, or in this case, 1 billion tokens going to A company, B company, X person, X investor, and they're emitted over a period of time. It's vesting. They're vesting, releasing. And so what we got to do here is pretty much come down to something like this. So this is their 5-year circulating supply, and I think that's it. Let me just come down here and confirm. So you have these different, like, these colorful charts, and then it looks kind of confusing. Don't worry, they just do it so that we have a good idea of who's unlocking what. So we can see here 5-year circulating schedule by bucket. That just pretty much means who it is. Like, so community grants, that entity, or that at least, I guess entities are in blue, so we can see when they list. So what we're looking for in general sense is third parties. So, small backers, core contributors would definitely fall into that, not the foundation, not the early ecosystem. The community sale would, and if they had team, that would go into it. People that are individuals that don't have to really go through massive hoops to unlock their tokens, or their whole intention is to make money. And that's what a pretty much third party is, and that's kind of what that helps. What we're looking for here is all that combined, but or at least the line that we need to look at the most is the dotted line, and new issuance, because the new issuance will encompass, I'm trying to, like, as if you guys can see behind me here. So the dotted line will essentially encompass, like, all beneath it, as well as, like, pretty much the total, right? The cumulative. It's right in front of me there. The cumulative is the word. So we want to look at this line here and kind of expel out to where we're going to be in 5 years. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it starts from 0 and goes to 60, aka 5 years. But what is 0? When is 0? And so that typically is Genesis. So you can look through here. I mean, you can read through it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's... Is it Genesis? So, okay, so you type in, Control F Genesis here. So Neil launches Genesis, so phase 0 on April 22nd, 2020. Simple, done. And the beautiful thing is it's April as well, which is the halving. So we just add 5 years, which turns out to be perfect. So what we can essentially do here is come down to this and say literally, right, that 60-month mark is going to be halfway in the bull market. That's going to be April 22nd, 2025. So you can probably count on, maybe I'd probably add on 6 months to that, because as our prediction said before, I might have exited over here now. Yeah, October 30th, based on what we know so far. And so simply what you got to do, hang on. Okay, so what's this? So it's going to be you can use rough numbers here. So it's going to be more than 1.25 billion tokens. So let's just say 1.3 billion tokens. Right? So when we come down to, where are we? Oh God, coin market cap, you're really screwing me over here. Where are we? Circulating supply. Okay? So circulating supply, imagine that number now is 1.3 billion. That's what it's going to be like, roughly speaking, in end of 2025, roughly. Now, Near Protocol does have burn. We don't want to factor in burn. We don't want to guess that, because then we're fiddling around too much. We want worst case, so that if it goes above our price prediction, that's okay. That's okay. We just want worst case. So we can pretty much safely say that there's going to be about 350 or so million tokens rather entered into circulation between now and when the time comes, right? So that's including inflation. Okay, so yeah, that's what we kind of use. And what we've got to do now is figure out how much demand is there going to be. Okay, and there's a formula. It's pretty simple. It's a very, very basic math. And we do the future, what we think the future market cap will be, because a market cap is a reflection of how much money how many tokens have been purchased and at what price and all that sort of stuff. I hear people all the time. I think I saw a video on Crypto Mason mentioning that market cap is a reflection of the price. That doesn't make any sense to me. The price is a reflection of the market cap and supply. How can you just get a magic price number? It doesn't work like that. You got to work out the market cap. And supply is easy. Supply is supply. But the market cap is found through exchanges. How much money is being traded in the project. You don't look at volume and say that number is magical. That number just magically pops up there. That's because it's accumulation of all the different exchanges. So anyway, all I'm saying is we roughly can figure out the market cap here. So the market cap in this sense, right, might be, let's just say, let's throw some numbers around here. Now, there is some reasons that go into me coming up with, I just don't think to myself, what is Near Protocol, what do I feel Near Protocol might go to? That's a very bad way of doing it. What I'll do is use metrics like market dominance, how it's performed in the past, and then what events have unfolded between now and then, and also what events are going to unfold between now and the top of the bull run, which Near Protocol has a lot. And I'll kind of use those and surmise an end result. And the trick here is not going over the top. Again, we're thinking about worst case situation. So for me, it would not be unreasonable to see Near Protocol's market cap. I mean, guys, check this out. Market cap back at the all-time high was, $12 billion. And, because Near Protocol is an ever-evolving project and company, they're doing a lot. We have to check metrics here. Metrics are very important. TPS, not TPS really, but how many transactions are occurring every month, right? How many new active accounts are there? How many accounts are being created overall? Like, are people finding Near Protocol interesting? Like, what's the TVL as a rough guide here to figure out, are people looking to invest in the ecosystem? All these sort of things play into it, plus those other factors I mentioned, like market dominance and stuff like that, and performance and now in the future. This all kind of plays into it. And even at that, we're missing 10,000 other factors. And all I'm saying is we come up with a rough number here. We'll have a rough number. And let's just roughly say here, let's say it 3x's in terms of market cap size in 2025. Well, what we'll do here is, let me just go cal. So what we'll do here is then we'll punch in that number. Let's say 33 billion divided by what the circulating supply will be, which is 1.3 billion, equals your price, right? So I think that's roughly about what I had. So maybe I did roughly come up with that. And so then okay, so what in this case you can say is we've factored inflation, literally that. Matter of fact, it'll be less because I have a 70% burn rate on every transaction. So it'll be less than that. And then we have factored in that's going to 3x its all-time high market cap. How feasible is that? Well, this is what you have to constantly go back when you're sitting at home, when you're doing your research, and this is why I say less projects are better, because now you can sit down yourself and go with the pen and paper, right? Pen and paper, and go, hey, let me just flick it over real quick. Okay, Near Protocol, right? So today it's had this good bullish news. Okay, this bullish news actually, because you think about it, these projects build in the bear. This good news is going to impact it in 2025, right? So if they partnered with Amazon right now on some sort of small project, or they're involved within, some element of Amazon itself, okay, well, how can this benefit it in 2025? What can Near Protocol pull? Because the projects will try to do this. They'll pull away so they can, pump more good news out there. And this is why it's very important to assess your projects. That was my very long-winded answer. But I kind of, hopefully you guys learned a bit about that. Price predictions should never just be, here's a number I'm thinking of, see you later. Guys, we're going to close up here in 10 minutes, by the way. I still have to do another video tonight, and I am absolutely dying right now. I want to go to sleep. 619 says, I've had 4 people who have never mentioned crypto before talk to me about it in the last couple of weeks. Good to see. Yes, my friend. It's starting, I think. It's starting. Yeah. Just just survey around what's happening, and just take note. But as I've mentioned multiple times in the past, like, sometimes, like, what's happening on the surface, the bubbles that are appearing, sometimes there's something else beneath the surface, like, causing those bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Like, people pulling strings. There could be an ulterior motive behind all this. Let's pump the market. As we saw what happened in previous times, these massive, these events where crypto goes up and then it comes back down before the bull run starts. Any of that could have happened, definitely. Because they have the power. They own the newsletters. They own all the magazines. They own all this sort of the article websites, these publishers, and so they can literally like, you could go to like Token Metrics, right? Not Token Metrics. What am I saying? You could go to one of those websites. What am I talking about here? You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, one of the big publishers in crypto, and then like publish an article for like 1 Bitcoin or like $10,000 or $30,000, and they'll just like publish anything that you say. So yeah, guys, we got about 8 minutes left here. Any short questions you've had during your week that you'd like for me to answer? I'll just be answering short questions here. If there's a question that's going to take too long to answer, I'm just going to ignore it, just for the sake of everyone else, especially diving into projects. I just wanted to like really emphasize the bull run here, because I think a lot of people are still holding off. People aren't too scared to put their final positions in. And not saying you should put your final positions in by any stretch of the imagination, but all I'm saying is to like, if you deem this price meets your minimum expectations for that project and you've done your risk analysis and all that sort of stuff, then what is stopping you? Because like with HBAR, for example, like one gentleman mentioned to me earlier on, like, should we buy now? Like, should we buy HBAR now after it's pumped? And the answer is no, like, because HBAR's up 1.5 cents. What's this, in the last day? Holy crap. In the last few days here, in the last day, it's up 1.5 cents, which before that was about, 33%. So 33% roughly speaking, well, actually, matter of fact, hang on a second, I've got the sheet here. %. Oh, that's in the last, yeah, so 15%. What am I talking about? So 15%, guys. And so it's like, don't screw yourself over like that, because you might not think the difference between 5 cents and 6.5 cents is much. But if you think about it, like, when that blows up, when HBAR goes to like $6, let's just hypothetically say here, I'm tired, right? Let's say it goes to $6.50. You've 100x'd. But if you waited at 5 cents, you might have 150x'd. You know what I'm saying? So, does a duck quack echo? Holy shit, Tony, that is a freaking good question, man. I don't know. It has to echo. Everything echoes. I've never heard one echo before, though. Thoughts on HBAR today, bro? Thank you so much. No, thank you, Motivation. Really appreciate you tuning in, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's some good news have come out in terms of the Fed now. Again, thank you to DHN Crypto for spotting that for everyone. I feel like he was one of the first people that broke it. Could be wrong, but that's what I feel. And yeah, I mean, I think we kind of knew that HBAR was going to have some sort of ties to the Fed now. HBAR's been killing it. They've been absolutely killing it. It just does not stop with those guys. And I can feel it to be one of the best performing projects. It wouldn't surprise me if it does a Cardano, 5 coins for 2025 hash. I would love to answer that, but I've made a video recently on that, so I'll let you listen to that. And my thoughts on Mina. Mina's in that video, so it's all 10s. I ranked it 3 different criteria. I rank it all 10, 30 out of 30. Richie Me screams, how do you feel about the micropayments for FedNow with HBAR? Okay, I just answered that. It's great stuff. Who will outperform QNT or ETH? Blair with a good question here. That's hard to say. Anything could happen. Probably a meme coin. A lot of projects will definitely outperform those two. Definitely ETH. A lot of projects will outperform ETH. ETH is like investing in Tesla. It's like you're going to get returns, but it's guaranteed. But like, you know, do you want to get returns or do you want to keep your wealth? When I say maintain wealth, I mean, like if you have $1 million, you can make like how good is that? Make $5 million, but you know, we want those 100x gains, guys. Come on now. No, 1000x gains. What am I saying? Shoot for the stars. Data Dash channel. Do you rate the channel on YouTube? I've never heard of it before. Maybe, you know, okay, guys, let me just check this out. We might stay here for a few more minutes. I'm having too much fun. So Mike says, and appreciate you, Mike, for saying this. I have reviewed channels before, and it didn't really go very well. So I have spoken about a couple people. Oh, Data Dash. I think I've seen one of this guy's videos before. Yeah, he seems quality to me, man. It didn't go very well. I was probably a bit too harsh, and it didn't receive well, and I kind of missed the mark on it, and so I've been too scared to like touch him again. But yeah, I saw one of this guy's videos not long ago, and he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. Again, that's a big problem, right? I thought it seemed, but from my bullshit detector, he definitely kind of avoided that. So yeah. But I haven't watched his videos apart from like maybe it was like 5 minutes of a topic that I was sent. So yeah. Motivation, thoughts on XRP going down right now? To be honest, I didn't even know XRP was going down right now. I don't. Okay, so it's up slightly. It's sideways. It's trading at 62 cents. It's still up. I mean, we're still up a lot from what it was a few months ago, no? Yeah, we are. Like, it was down at 34 cents. It's doubled. So that's pretty good, you know? Like, I think a lot of XRP lovers know what's to come here. I mean, I haven't spoken about XRP a lot, and that's my bad. I just haven't dove into the project. Like, I've always been in love with XLM, but I think XRP is definitely one I should do some more research on. Matter of fact, I've got a team helping me out. They're going to help me do an extra video per day, so that I'll have more time to do more research, and I guarantee the quality is going to go up from there. Every time I've stuck into research, like I love doing, the quality of my videos go. So that's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to learn more about XRP. I just know it's pretty much the copy and paste of XLM, like more or less, but just a whole heap of connections. Hey from Brisbane, man. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, brother. Really, that's great to hear, and appreciate you tuning in, mate. That's what I love. You know, you tune in, and that's what keeps me going. I'm tired as shit right now. But besides the coffee, that's what it is. Yeah, so Data Dash says he's a bit bearish right now due to macro. So okay, don't get me wrong. I'm still a bear. I'm still a bear right now. But based on what we're seeing, I think that the bull run is starting. As I said, like when I say starting, I don't mean like it's gonna start taking off. I'm still a big proponent of a black swan event. I'm still a big proponent that we're going to probably see some sideways, maybe an up, maybe some down, mostly at the end of the day sideways, troughs and valleys, hills and valleys. It's because just the macro world is so gross right now. Bitboy loves XRP, enough said. Motivation says, you're incredible, bro. I'm a big fan since you had 1,000 subscribers. My God. You've stuck with me this long. Thank you. And watch your new videos every single day. Awesome. Thank you so much for answering both my questions tonight. No problem, man. And I do apologize if I haven't gotten to your questions. I'm not ignoring you if I haven't. I'm just scanning through here and trying to be as proficient as possible. What are the main CBDC related coins? Obviously QNT is one of them. Sorry, I was just looking at something else just then. So QNT, XRP, XLM, HBAR, XDC. See these coins. I had this conversation the other day with someone. I was having a bit of a back and forth. I'm not going to go into the backstory behind that, but he was pretty much telling me like, we're talking about HBAR. He was a HBAR bull, and I was like, I'm a HBAR bull too. But he's like, HBAR. The context, like, so to tell you exactly what we were like, not arguing, but just disagreeing over. It's going to take a while, but more or less, he was pretty much saying like, one of the questions was, he was trying to prove a point, was like, so when these governments use HBAR for CBDCs, I'm like, dude, you got it all wrong. I was like, and then he's like, oh yeah, because he was like, then they're going to have to buy up the HBAR supply to then process those CBDC payments. I was like, dude, if you think for a second that governments are going to want to use the public HBAR network for their CBDC, you are spewing. At best, what they will do is they're going to hire out the HCS, the Hedera Consensus Service, or any network for that matter. If it's Algorand, the Algorand private network, they're going to either buy it off them outright or license it off them, run their own private network from it, and fiddle around that way. They're never going to ever need to use the public token because they're not going to give a crap about the public network because they're doing their own private thing. And if they have to transfer tokens, let's just say from Australia to America, they're going to do that from their consensus service, their mechanism, to the other consensus distributed network privately. And you can argue like, no, they won't. They will use a public network. Like, why would they use a public network for that? Why would they want to pay fees on that? Like, they're stupid, but they're not that stupid. So I would say, be mindful of that. Be mindful that, and this is what I'm going to say I'm excited for this, but it's also something I'm not excited for because it's going to actually harm a lot of people. But I'm kind of like the shift in the mentality from everyone from this like crypto is this magic wonderland where everything's going to be processed through. It's like, no, there's crypto, which is a public open source network where everything's visible and everything, even the code's visible, to these private networks where everything is running around it. And that's where the big money's going to move. And occasionally we'll have money pop into crypto and like extract it. Of course, there's going to be some, public or private sector use cases for that. But I think most of it's going to have a big moat around all that. And so to answer your question, I've kind of lost it in the feed here. But so CBDC coins, they offer support for CBDCs. They will most likely be able to transfer CBDCs. But other governments going to want to use the private networks, aka use the token, buy a whole big batch of the token to use for payments? Probably not. Probably not. I'd love to debate about how I think CBDCs won't be a thing. Yeah, I'd be up for that. It could be a big scare tactic, Rich. You might be right. It could be a big scare tactic, just like the whole alien psyop thing right now. Man, we're getting deep. I should hold a conspiracy theory with Cyprus. You guys should follow Cyprus. We should host like a conspiracy theory call one day and just like get into all this sort of stuff, right? It'd be really, really interesting because I know a lot of you guys like this sort of thing. Because it does have a big implication on crypto, because a lot of this stuff does have to do with payments and control via your money, basically. Good morning from the Czech Republic. That's awesome. Welcome. We got everyone from all corners of the globe in here. By the way, how on earth do you manage to upload 3 to 4 times a day like a bro? Like bro. Other dudes only do one a day. My man, I don't even know how I'm able to do it either. I don't know how. I just do it. But I don't do anything else, Harsh. So that's why I don't do anything else. I'm cutting back down to 1 video a day for the most part until the bull run starts, I think, and then I'm going to kick it in the 5th gear. We'll see. You guys will see. As things progress, I don't want to call anything out now, but it's definitely difficult to do 2 videos a day, even 1 video a day. That's because you got to talk about quality and quantity. I'm trying to do quality and quantity, and it's next to it's unsustainable. Because I don't have a life. I really don't have a life. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's why I like coming on the live streams, because I actually talk to people for once. That's why I like going for a haircut now. I get to talk to the lady that cuts my hair. part of it. It's a part of it. That's what crypto does to people. What's my biggest holding? HBAR is my number 1 holding. Carp from the UK. Is it Devon? Sunny UK. Awesome. It's actually quite overcast over here right now in Australia. The land down under. Is the bear market over? Mart, if you're joining me now, the answer to that question, I believe, is technically it's not, but also I think it is. I think the bull run's starting, but I probably should think of a better term to use here. Not bull run, because it's not actually just going to be going up from here. But I think people are coming back into the space. Interest is coming back, and that is where we start to see it's coming. It's coming, I tell you right now. But I do think we're going to see some more sideways action, hills and valleys, but in the long run, I think between now and the next 8 months, overall, we're going to go up. Don't burn yourself out. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm cutting back to 1 video a day. I just can't do it. I just can't do it anymore. And I'm doing these sponsored videos as well. I'm cutting those back. I said yes to way too many sponsors because I was like, actually good sponsors for once. Yes. And I said like, yes. And I was like, oh shit. You guys are going to hate me because I'm doing sponsored clips now. I was like, now I'm exhausted because I hate people telling me what to do. So I was like, oh my God. And I was like, so now I'm like cutting everything back. I'm like, nope. I'm doing things. I'm doing things slow. 1 video a day for the most part. Once these next sponsors are done, 1 video a day, maybe one sponsor a week. That's it. I gotta, keep the lights on. You know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, we might call it a day. And I love to talk for longer, by the way. The only reason is because I am so tired right now. You probably can't get that from the way I'm talking. I'm probably going to go have a nap. Yes, I have an inbuilt bed in the office. And I'm going to go, not an inbuilt bed, but I have a bed in the office. I'm going to have a quick nap and try to knock out the next video here. And after this week, after the next 3-4 days, I am cutting these videos back down to 1 a day. But I'm going to try to keep the quality. I'm going to increase the quality. I have some really good stuff actually ahead of you guys. So I'm really looking forward to what you will think. But again, I only know if you're in the comments, if you're saying yay or nay. Constructive criticism always helps. I know you guys mean the best when you come on and you tell me yay or nay, Kyron, because it's the way it's the way you tell me. It's the way you emphasize the point, I guess. So thanks so much. We're seeing Louis Lipson here. Louis, you're late, bro. Come on, man. You can't have a life outside my streams. What are you talking about? All right, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry I couldn't get to all your questions. But the most important thing is you showed up and you're conversating. So that's all I can ask for. Thank you so much, every single one of you. I appreciate you more than you know. And we'll talk to you soon. Adios, amigo.